How's it going, everybody? It's Pride here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the mother of chakra, the rabbit goddess, the person that created the infinite Tsukiyomi, and the Otsutsuki that gave the entire Team 7 a run for their money. We're going to be talking about Kaguya Otsutsuki, and more importantly, we're going to be talking about her strength during certain parts of her life. Now, we're going to be doing this for a good number of reasons, but one of which is because there is a misconception when it comes to how strong she was at certain time and how strong she is in comparison to other Otsutsukis, namely Momosiki and Kishiki. And if we're going off the anime, we can also throw Urashiki in there also. See, it's not really told to us how strong Momosiki is. He is decently strong, and him unfused, it was decently strong, but a bunch of regular Kages gave Kishiki and Momosiki a run for their money. But because of a misconception, a lot of people think that the Kages are just at that level where they can fight and potentially beat Kaguya from the last Ninja War, which I actually don't agree with at all. I think they still can't even put a finger to Kaguya, and Naruto and Sasuke will still have a very hard time fighting that Kaguya. So this video is pretty much here to present my reasonings for this, so that way you guys can understand where I'm coming from. To start off, we're going to be talking about Kaguya before she got sealed. Before chakra was an actual natural occurrence in Naruto. We're starting off when Kaguya was just a regular Otsutsuki member, a low rank one at that, and she first arrived on the planet. See, this Kaguya, this version of Kaguya, was always meant to be a sacrificial lamb. She was considered to be a low ranker in her own clan, and she was predestined to be fed to the god tree. But she had a falling out. See, she decided to not want to just be eaten. She decided to not want to become a chakra fruit. This tad bit of information is actually very important when it comes to discerning Kaguya's strength at this point. See, in order to actually get the strength of the god tree, you have to sacrifice an Otsutsuki to the god tree. If you were able to get any strength from it at all, it wouldn't be at the same level as if you were to put an actual Otsutsuki in the tree. In order for the tree to bear fruit, there has to be an Otsutsuki in there. However, we know that Ishiki didn't actually die, so he actually wasn't sacrificed to the god tree. This does mean that if Kaguya ate a chakra fruit from the tree, it was nowhere near as potent as per the norm when it comes to Otsutsukis getting their vast amount of strength. So already, very beginning of Kaguya's journey, not only is she not that powerful as an Otsutsuki member, but she didn't get that much more powerful after she ate the chakra fruit, because the chakra fruit didn't have much in it, because Ishiki survived. However, she did destroy his lower half of his body, which we can say, well, given off the evidence that we have and the story that we have, we can say that if she were to eat a chakra fruit, she had to have given half of Ishiki's body to the tree in order for it to bear fruit. Again, this just means that she actually didn't get the full power from the tree. No matter how you splice it, there's no way, canonly, that she could have gotten that strong from this tree. However, it is stated that she did become immensely powerful. Now, this is true. There's nothing that contradicts this, because back then, no one on that planet had chakra. Everybody was a mundane person like you and me. So anyone that has the power to just summon fireballs or teleport or just move things with just their mind is god level status. So that's actually completely correct. From the human's perspectives, Kaguya is still immensely powerful. However, in the grand scheme of things, she's not that strong. As I said, she can't be at this point. She didn't get the power, or she didn't get the power optimally. So she's lacking and stuff. Now move on to the point where she then has children, and they in turn have chakra of their own, Hagoromo and Hamura. At some point, it says in the story that she gets a little bit upset about this and she starts making plans. Now, we also know that the real reason she starts making plans, trying to get her chakra back, is because she knows that she's actually on a time limit. She knows that if Ishiki doesn't report back to the clan, they're going to come and investigate. They're going to be like, what happened? And once they find out that she's still alive, they're going to kill her. That's exactly what she did not want. So she devised a plan in order to get stronger. She did the infinite Tsukiyomi and decided to drain all the inhabitants of Earth of their life force, not their chakra, just their life force, because they didn't have chakra, of their life force, and also create an army so that way she has a fighting force. Again, numbers do matter when it comes to people of the same level as you. And if the Otsutsuki always runs in pairs, then she's always going to be outmatched unless she has a fighting force that is actually comparable or not even comparable, they can actually use chakra to do certain things. Regular people with just swords and bows won't have a shot fighting an extra Otsutsuki member. This is also where I would like to point out that Kaguya is actually not that great of a fighter. This has actually been displayed multiple times in her fight against Naruto and Sasuke. She's actually not that tactful when it comes to using her skills. In fact, she just pretty much lobs her attacks at people hoping that it'll work, and she does it with abandon, or she doesn't really try to conserve her energy. Black Zetsu can attest to this, and her power does get a little out of control. But I'm only using this example to say why she wanted to do all of this. Again, she's a low ranker. She wasn't made to fight. In fact, Otsutsuki members usually think that training is kind of a waste of their time if they can just assimilate power instead of just earn the power. Kaguya's plan for an army was justified because not only will she be outnumbered, she doesn't have the technical know-how to fight multiple opponents at once, let alone fight 1v1 without it just becoming a slugfest. Now, a lot of people will speculate at this point that Momosiki and Kishiki was the people that she was writing about, and I believe in the novel it does specify Momosiki and Kishiki. However, in the anime and the manga, it truly doesn't, and that's another problem with this whole how strong Kaguya is, or how strong Momosiki and Kishiki is, because in the manga and the anime, they kind of don't set that in stone, and the manga and anime are both canon, and the novel's also canon, so we have three continuities that all say different things. Who are we going to rely on? Me personally, I'm gonna rely on the manga and anime because they're more consistent with each other than the novel is. And also, to me, the anime and the manga are the final draft, while the novel is the rough draft. The anime is usually the last thing to come out, so they're gonna look at everything and be like, okay, yeah, this is what we really want to say. Here it is. But that's me personally. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Regardless of who was coming for her, she decided to make her army. Now, a lot of people speculate that she got immensely strong because she did the infinite Tsukiyomi and started draining everybody's energy. But that's actually incorrect. Not only was she doing it at a very slow pace, she wasn't getting everybody's energy at the same time, but she was also diverting that energy to white Zetsu, meaning that she wasn't getting all of the energy. If she was getting any of it, she definitely wasn't getting the majority. She was making an army. She was converting one life for another life, a subservient life that will follow all her command. And again, she didn't get the entire world, and she didn't get the animals. And we know this because the animals are the ones that told Hagoromo and Hamura what she was doing, and they didn't actually believe them until they did some investigation of their own and started noticing that people were slowly missing. This seems like a gradual thing. All of this to really say that no matter what, this early life Kaguya, before she got turned into the 10-tailed Jinchurikis, wasn't all that strong, at least in comparison to what we see her when she's fighting Naruto and Sasuke. At that point, early life Kaguya really only had half of a chakra fruit worth of power, maybe country, maybe continent level worth of people's energy, and then she divided that up into Zetsu. She truly didn't have a lot of power. This leads us to the downfall where she gets sealed, turned into various different tailed beasts, and then the husk of her body gets sent to the moon. Now, these are all very important details for when she comes back later. See, Hagoromo is the sage of the 6 paths, and his body is just innately strong. He is a freak of nature. He even has 6 path sage mode, which is the highest form of sage mode that you can possibly ever have. And sage mode in its lowest form is already an insane amp. It can drastically make you stronger, more durable, and all of your jutsus even upgraded to a higher level that you can do previously by yourself. And we have Hagoromo with the highest form of that. Now, that's important because when Kaguya comes back, you have to take in all the factors that this Kaguya now has. See, this Kaguya actually has a lot of things going for them. Not only does she have 90% of her original power, she's only missing half of the 9 tails and a sliver of the 8 tails. Now, as we see in her resurrection, we see that Madara is converted into Kaguya, and then Black Zetsu is also absorbed into Kaguya as well. Now, this is actually a huge thing because Black Zetsu is already decently strong. We can put him at least at Jonin level class strength. He is pretty good, but Madara is above Kage level strength. This dude can fight multiple Kages at the same time and not really break a sweat. And he only got stronger after that. At this point in time, Madara already had Sage Mode, and not just any Sage Mode. He had 6 path Sage Mode. Not only does 6 path Sage Mode the highest amp, like I've already stated, it also makes you practically immune to all damage that isn't Senjutsu. And that's just busted. So Kaguya that is fighting Naruto has all of Black Zetsu's powers, all of Madara's powers, at least his chakra, and all of the Sage of the 6 paths powers as well because Madara had it. So pretty much, even though she's missing a little bit of her original power, she got 3 different various amps that are all pretty much better, or if in the same realm as the power that she's missing. But it doesn't actually end there, because then right after she assimilates Madara and Black Zetsu, she also absorbs the chakra from the world tree and most of the people that is in the infinite Tsukiyomi. She now has the chakra of most people in the world. And that's more impressive than the energy she got when she first tried infinite Tsukiyomi, because again, those people didn't have chakra. But now she's in the era where everyone has chakra of varying different degrees, and the chakra grows with you. Everyone's chakra is not stagnant. That means that even if the chakra was originally from Hagoromo or originally from her, because they're in new bodies, they all have the potential to grow with that person. We see it with Sasuke when he gets his whole hatred thing going and he gets continuously stronger. We see it with Naruto when he has his resolves and he gets continuously stronger. We know for a fact that in the show Naruto, chakra can be increased past what the person originally had. It can even be increased mid-fight. So no matter how you stretch it, all this chakra is new chakra, and this makes Kaguya insanely strong. So now we're at the crux of the video, where that even if we were to say that Momosiki and Kishiki was stronger than Kaguya in the past, that's really nothing. That's like, okay, you're stronger than some Kages. Wow, Kaguya wasn't that strong in the past, relatively speaking. This entire video pretty much proves that. But yet people will swear left and right that Momosiki, unfused even, could beat Kaguya, when fused Momosiki pretty much easily got beat by Naruto and Sasuke. Yeah, it was tough for a couple of their exchanges, but ultimately they pretty much destroyed him in a fight. He got completely outclassed very quickly, to the point where even Boruto, who I must say isn't even Chunin level yet, yes, Boruto isn't even at the strength of a Chunin. Earlier that day, Boruto almost lost like 3 times in the Chunin exam against other Chunin, and the only reason he won is because he cheated. He would have lost any other way. And yet we see Boruto straight up fighting a weakened Momoshiki. A lot of you guys would say that, well, he was weakened. I'm like, okay, well, a Jonin, even if he's weakened, should still be easily enough to beat a Genin or a Chunin easily. But a lot of Jonins don't even have to try to beat Chunins. Kakashi's the prime example of that. So yeah, at the end of the day, this video is just to say that Kaguya wasn't that strong, and comparing Momosiki and Kishiki to old school Kaguya isn't really a feat at all. She was terrified of them. I'm like, okay, she was weak back then. Yeah, she was low class, like low class warrior. Yeah, I'll be afraid too. It's like Bardock if Vegeta and Nappa were to show up. Bardock would just lose. They're going to win. I also like to say that her plan probably could have worked if she kept going for a millennium, because, well, if they took that long to get there and she had all that time to grow her strength, then yeah, she probably could have actually won to grow her strength. But at the end of the day, that is what that is. She lost, then she lost again with a little bit of plot, a little bit of luck, a little bit of hacks. And yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to let you guys know, open your minds a little bit, really get an understanding for the true power of Kaguya Otsutsuki.